and thank you for joining me on the show today. This is the Now Talks, a collection of inspiring personal stories and leadership lessons from some of the world's most iconic leaders. It is the weekly podcast for women in leadership, brought to you by Nations of Women. My name is Dr. Tina Allton, and I'm your host for today and the coming weeks. How very quickly the weeks have been going, and we are already in March. Wow, where did the time go? This is another brand new week, and I come your way again. And this week is really looking at, I think, a topic that we've been talking about here for quite a while. However, this week also sees the whole world globally celebrating International Women's Day. Now, we know the whole month is dedicated to women, International Women's Month, and this week is International Women's Day or week, if you want to put it that way. So I wanted us to really look at, I think, something that every single one of us, as far as you're in leadership or as far as you're in business, would have experienced this before. Now, if we take the theme for this week or for this year, International Women's Day, it's talking about investing in women. This is the UN Women, and the theme is, I'll read this to you, investing women to accelerate progress. Right now, newsflash, I don't think that it is appropriate or even acceptable, if I can dare to be different and bold, to say that you can't expect, or we can't simply put, that investing women to accelerate progress without equally reminding women that it actually starts with you. I'm sorry, but if you're not seeing yourself as worth you investing in yourself, I'm not sure how you can expect somebody else to be invested in you. It starts with you. There is the saying that charity begins at home. Everything that we do starts with us. It always starts with you. So if we're looking at a global theme of investing in women to accelerate progress or growth in our society, nations, etc., then it also is required, though, we on the other side, because it's two sides of the same coin, to remind women and to challenge women that, look, you have to consider yourself, not just consider yourself, but you actually have to recognize that you must first invest in yourself. So hopefully you'll come on a journey with me today, and we're going to have some conversation or discussion. Certainly, my intention is to provoke some thoughts for you, be thought-provoking, make you actually sit up and think, make you actually sit up and make a change. And so I would be really, really excited to hear back from you once we get to the end of this conversation or this podcast today. Number one, well, not necessarily in any particular order, but for us to come to that place of worthiness, knowing and believing that, hey, I'm worth me investing in myself, requires you actually know your priorities. So here is a question for us as women in business, as women leaders, or women that are aspiring to begin our entrepreneurial journey. What is your priorities? Do you actually know your priorities? If I asked you or met you today and said, what is your priorities? Would you be able to tell me exactly what your priorities are? I think I've been talking about since the beginning of this year about how so many women have incredible business ideas, and for some strange reason, it's like doing nothing about it. And for the majority, it's this whole thing of, well, one day or someday. How about that someday becomes today? How about that one day becomes today? But For you to actually get started, you've got to know your priorities. So, what are your priorities? And how committed are you to your priorities? That's the question. Are you willing to be giving yourself that time to actually set your priorities? And your priorities, I'm not just talking about your business or your business idea or starting a business, but your priorities for your life, full stop. Your priorities for your life, period. What are your life's priorities? Right. So, prioritizing your life is very, very crucial to everything you'd ever do and every success you'd ever achieve in your life. Requires discipline, requires focus, and yes, it does require you to allocate your own time, your own resources, and your own self to the process. To identify, not just identify, but to really actually take the action step of writing down your priorities in your life. Priorities as a mom, maybe, I don't know. Priorities as a wife, priorities as a business owner, priorities as an entrepreneur, priorities as a leader, priorities as a woman, full stop. I don't know. You choose. But it's very, very important that you prioritize your goals, you prioritize your priorities, you prioritize you yourself, and sit down and identify and put pen to paper and write, these are my priorities in life. Why is that important? Because it's almost like your compass. It would help you to know, this is the path I'm supposed to be on, or this is a distraction, or this is not in alignment. But if you don't know where your life priorities are, then how are you going to actually get a sense of direction for where you're meant to go? So here is a challenge for us women, nations of women. Number one is take time to reassess your priorities and identify the most important ones for your business. Create a plan to dedicate time and energy to these priorities every single day. It's not enough to just sit down because you're activated, you're motivated, you're inspired. Tina said XYZ, so you're sitting down with the priorities together and do nothing with it. When you set the priorities together, or when you write that down, make sure you have you break it down every single day. What am I going to do in order to create consistency as far as my priorities are concerned? And that's something I believe we do really, really well in our business incubator, helping you to get started as a businesswoman or as an entrepreneur, or just simply for your life as a leader. And another tip here is it's okay to use productivity tools or productivity planners to help you organize and schedule, to help you to be consistent. But I promise you, if you don't sit down and put pen to paper rather, what your priorities are for your life, then forget it. You're gonna be like the ball, or however they call it, that's just tossed on the water, on the waves. The waves come forward, you come forward, you go back, and your life is just going to be a little bit disorganized. Number two is, have you not started your business because you're waiting to, I don't know, meet some expectations that are set by other people? I don't know. Why are you waiting for someone's approval before you get started? Tina, you're being mean today. No, I'm not being mean. I'm being super kind. Because the number of times I've met women with brilliant, brilliant, brilliant business ideas that are not getting started, tucked in the drawer somewhere for, I don't know, eons of years because they're waiting for someone's approval or waiting for that someday. Okay, here's your sign. Here is your approval. Waiting for someone else's approval can absolutely, without a doubt, delay your progress. Take that initiative. Trust in the fact that, if God is giving you that idea or that business, that business idea, that you have what it takes to get started on your entrepreneurial journey. Yes, to get started, you may need to have the skill of that skill, or how do I actually get started, from scratch. Now, we've all been there before, and that's something that we do and we offer here in Issues of Women. But I'm here to disrupt your peace, if you want to put it that way, and that is to tell you, woman, you no longer have to be waiting for anybody's approval before you get started. This is your sign and this is your approval notice. Please get started. Take that initiative. Trust in the fact that you have what it takes, and be okay, get comfortable asking for help, because the truth is, we all don't have all the answers. We all don't know everything. We've all got to where we are by being willing to ask for help. So it's perfectly okay to ask for help. It's not a sign of weakness. Actually, it's the greatest strength is to ask for help. That's the greatest strength anyone can have, is ever to ask for help. So, actionable challenge: identify one action you've been waiting for approval on and take that initiative to move forward without that approval. Trust in who you have been called to be. Trust in who you have been created to be. Trust in the woman you are. Trust in the fact that you're going to be able to do it. And set your vision so. Set your mindset so. Practically, how do you do that? You surround yourself with supportive people, supportive individuals who will encourage you and uplift you. And number two, practically seek feedback. Seek feedback and seek advice. If you don't like feedback, or if you never ask for advice, then you're really setting yourself up for a very difficult path ahead, because feedback has to be your friend. As a woman or as a leader, as an entrepreneur, feedback is always your friend. And feedback is not always going to be pleasant. It's not always going to be easy to hear, but the truth is, if you're asking for feedback from the right people, then you know that they have good heart towards you. They want the best for you. So even if the feedback is really, really hard, then you've just got to listen. Once I was on a leadership training course a while back, sometime last year, and I knew that, there were areas in my life that I really needed to work on. And my lead then, told me, hey, Tina, you really need to go and do some work, and just, you need to go and do some self-introspection and some course correction. And it was hard at the time, but I knew without a doubt that the leader had my best intentions. And so even though it was hard, but it was the truth. And, as a leader, the best thing anybody can ever give you is to help you to see the areas or the pieces of your life that you really can't see yourself. It's like your back, right? You can never see the back of your head unless you hold a mirror, or somebody holds a mirror, somebody tells you. So for me, yes, it was hard. It's always hard hearing, hey, you know what? So great. You need to, fix that or fix this or whatever it is. And I really needed to take that on board. And, I set myself that goal of introspecting and getting, further feedback on what aspect of me needs to be refined, right? And I think as a leader, you never arrive. You're always constantly having to grow, refine your character, sustain your character, and habits and actions and mindset and all of those things. So I personally had to get on that journey of, actually, this character is not going to take me that far. So I had to work on that, right? So again, feedback is a leader's friend. As long as the person giving you the feedback is somebody that has your best interest at heart, or that, at least they're a little bit 2, 3, 4 steps ahead of where you mean to be or intend to be, then take the feedback and make you your best friend. Okay. And another thought for us in terms of how can we actually pick up this business idea and make it go at it? How can we step into our purpose, the fullness of who we are. And I do believe that we're in a time and, a space where I'm seeing this more and more and more and more. And that is people, women specifically, are really just losing that sense of who they are, the sense of identity. And I think it comes, that loss of sense of identity really goes with when we lose the ability to be decisive, right? Where we're making decisions based on what somebody else think, or social media, or that or that. You have to be decisive. You have to have a vision for your life, making the decision to get started with the fact that, you know what, until I get started, there is no future rewards for me to even think about. You cannot expect to harvest when you haven't sowed anything. You only sow, you only reap when you sow. If you put nothing in the ground, you can't expect to harvest. So make the decision to start your business. That requires vision, that requires foresight. It goes without saying. Keep the future rewards and the benefits in mind as you take that decisive action towards your goal. I've already told you how to get started. Set your priorities right. Make up your mind. Don't wait for approval. Just get going. Like Nike will say, just do it. So here's a challenge. Can you visualize the future success of your business and the impact it will have on your own life and the lives of others? Take a moment. Take that in. Yes. If you could get over the fear and get started today with your business idea, I promise you 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. But if you join the Nations of Women Business Incubator, that's 90 days. 90 days, you will be able to begin to catch the vision and a glimpse of the impact it will make on your own life and that of others. I think a business that doesn't seek to make any impact on anybody else is not even worth thinking about. So use this vision as your motivation to take action today. Practically, how do you do that? Capture your dream. Capture the excitement that is in your heart and your spirit, right? But newsflash, it's no use just capturing, these are my dreams, these are my aspirations, this is what I see the future to be, all of those, without a sustainable action plan attached to it. You've got to have an action plan attached to it. You've got to stay inspired, yes, and you've got to stay focused on those goals and that dream. Don't procrastinate. Being decisive and getting started means you kick the butt of procrastination. Procrastination is your enemy. It's the enemy of progress. Make the decision to take action now. Seek the support resources available to you to help you get started. 90 days. 90 days is a reasonable investment to making yourself to say, for the next 90 days, I'm invested in myself. I'm committed to my priorities. I'm committed to my vision. I'm committed to putting that seed, that business idea into the ground, and I'm committed to the process of what it takes to see this seed birth forth. Identify one task related to starting your business that you've been putting off and commit to completing within the next 24 hours. That's it. You don't need 72 hours or, 1 week or 450 years. Just identify one task associated with starting your business that you've been putting off and commit to completing within the next 24 hours. One task I can give you is find out a bit more about the Nations of Women 90-day business starter. And add what is the one task associated with starting your business, or just making that, fresh step that you've been procrastinating. Practically, break down any big task that is daunting, overwhelming, just as like, I can't even get started, I can't even be bothered, whatever feeling is. Break out of that feeling and break down any daunting task that you have into smaller, more manageable steps. Set deadlines for each step to keep yourself accountable and motivated. Right. Your values should be more on the rewards you're going to get, the impact you're going to make on other people by getting started with your business, more so than keeping faces with friends or family. It's like more so than keeping up their appearances, because the truth is, you got to get started. Learn from mistakes. Appreciate, of course, we all make mistakes in the past. So maybe you started in the past and, business didn't go as it. I don't know, whatever it is, you're not your past. That is something I need to remind you. You are not your past. None of us, we all make mistakes. Who hasn't made mistakes before? I don't know if such a person ever exists. But the truth is, you're not your past. You're not even your mistakes. You're not who you were yesterday. So don't hold yourself sabotage. Don't hold yourself to ransom because of mistakes you made in the past. Mistakes are inevitable on your entrepreneurial journey, but they also provide valuable lessons. So acknowledge the mistakes, learn from them, use them as stepping stones towards your future success, right? Use them as stepping stones and let that propel you towards your future, your here and your now. Challenge. Yeah, sometimes you gotta sit down, reflect on the past mistakes or whatever setbacks you had, and identify what lessons can you learn from them. Reckon with your past mistakes, challenges, failures, whatever it is. Acknowledge them, but don't just acknowledge them. Don't just look them. Just take a minute and consider, what can you learn from them? What can you learn from that mistake? What can you learn from that failure? Whatever it is. Use that as an insight to inform your decisions making, helping you to go forward. Because if you don't look at what happened in the past, if you don't learn from it, the truth is, yes, you will be bound to repeat that again. We don't want that. Practically, keep a log of your experiences. Every day is an opportunity to learn something. So maybe before you go to bed, or before, when you're sitting down, enjoying a cup of tea, coffee, whatever time of day it is, jot down, what are the lessons you've learned today? And refer back to it as regularly as you can. Build a bank of wisdom. Build a bank for yourself, which would be a source of your wisdom and your guidance. Providing value to others, giving thought to the value you provide to others when you get started with your business, right? Every business, and certainly the ones we want to help you build here in Nations of Women, is a business that actually puts purpose into practice. That's part of what we're going to be bringing you. But what I want to talk about today and focus on is a successful business is built on providing value to others. Consider how your business, your product, or your service will benefit your customers. And, how are you going to deliver exceptional value? But the truth is, you're not going to be able to deliver anything if you actually haven't got started. So you might be thinking, well, Tina, you're really on my case. Well, maybe. But it's important to remember that your success in your business will be built on providing value to others. So if you are looking at impacting other people's lives, providing value to others, and you're not starting your business, what is wrong? Maybe I should put it this way. What's wrong with you? Wake up, wake up. Challenge, define. What is going to be unique about your business? What is going to set your business apart from everybody else? And how are you actually going to provide value to those you're called to serve? Yes, it's important to think about it. Or maybe you're thinking, Tina, that's where I'm stuck. Well, then in that case, that's what we're here to help you do. Practically, seek to understand, who have you been called to serve? And how are you going to meet those needs? How are you going to be able to serve them? What are you going to offer that would meet the needs that is required by those you're called to serve? Good food for thought. You got to step into your leadership. To influence anyone, to make a difference to anyone, you really, 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 first of all, have to stand up and be counted, because you can't impact or influence anyone just sitting down, really, truly. So your leadership begins with you stepping up and taking responsibility. Embrace who you are as a leader. Embrace who you are as, the woman you're called to be. You're unique for a reason. And now use the fact that who you are matters to now inspire other people through your actions. Just sitting down on your hands isn't going to inspire anyone, because you yourself, you're not taking any action, and that doesn't help anyone or serve anyone. So, to serve anyone, to influence anyone, to be a leader, to build a really great business that serves others, you first must stand up and be counted. Metaphorically, it means you gotta get started. You gotta stand up. Do something, take an action, right? Move from where you are. Don't be stagnant. Challenge, identify an opportunity to lead or make a difference in your community or industry. Take initiative towards, making a difference, right? Practically, the best way I know how is seek out mentorship, seek out leadership development opportunities, enhance your skills as a leader, and expand your influence. Tell yourself, remind yourself that you're worth investing in yourself, because until you invest in yourself, no one else would be able to easily recognize that you're worth investing in. You got to have skin in the game, right? Don't waver. Confidence is key to success in entrepreneurship. You got to believe in who you are. You got to believe in who you've been created to be, your identity. We're all unique. If you think about your fingertips, right? Your fingerprint is different. Even if you're a twin, it'd be very different. That means that the one who created you, whatever you believe in, created you uniquely. Therefore, you're bound to have unique abilities. And so don't waver in the face of challenges or setbacks, right? Don't waver in that. Be confident. Challenge. How do you keep your confidence? Here's a thought, here's a question. How do you keep your confidence when perhaps you're not feeling so confident? Great thought there. Practically comes back again to supporting yourself or surrounding yourself with a supportive network of mentors, of peers, friends who believe in you, who believe in who you are, who believe in who you've been created to be, and can see the woman in you and call that forth. The truth is, we are the sum of the 5 people we hang out with. So if you hang out with 5 people who don't see who you are, then you're in the wrong environment, and that ultimately over time will impact your confidence. When you're in the right environment, when you're in the right community, when you find your people, when you find your tribe, I would say family by choice, because none of us can choose a family, but when you find your people, their encouragement can help bolster your confidence during some of the most difficult times in your life. And what better time to get started than now? Seize the moment. Believe me, right? Believe me. There is no better time than the present to pursue that dream, that goal, that business, that seed that is in your hand. Believe in the fact that this is the only time you have. Now really is the only time. Carpe diem, as they will say. Seize the opportunity, seize the day, seize the time, seize the opportunity that is presented here with you. Seize that opportunity with confidence and determination. Practically, take a bold step towards your business goals. Take a bold step towards, identify what is your priorities, what are your goals, whether it's reaching out to somebody or the business or whatever it is, maybe. Maybe let's just start with this one. Take that bold step towards investing in your own personal development. Practically create a timeline. Break down your priorities, break down your goals into smaller milestones so you can help track, celebrate the wins that come along the way, have a sustainable action plan to help you create consistency. Seek out a mentor, get the help you need, ask for help. And remember, you don't have to walk this journey alone. You don't have to do this alone. But what is absolutely vital is that you believe without a doubt the time is now. So here's some takeouts for you. Courageous action. Take decisive action towards your goals, even in the face of fear or uncertainty. Have confidence. Have some self-belief. Believe in your capabilities. Believe in your abilities. That would help you to succeed as an entrepreneur. Value creation. Remember that until you put that seed into the ground, there's no harvest. Until you get started with your business, you cannot create value. You cannot add or be valuable to anyone. And the first person to always add value to is yourself. So when you get started, remember, you have to provide exceptional value to yourself. Then you can be equipped and able to then add value to others, because you really can't serve from empty. You can't give from what does not exist, right? Your leadership and influence. You got to step out, as Nike could say, just do it. You got to step up as a leader, inspire others through your actions and example. If you're sitting down on your legs, on your laps, you're not going to be able to make any difference to anybody else. So as we celebrate International Women's Month, let's empower ourselves, each other, to overcome fear, doubt, procrastination, embark on the exciting journey of entrepreneurship. Prioritize your life, prioritize your goals, take initiative, embrace your potential for leadership, right? And create a business that is set to make a positive impact in the world. Above all of that, remember, the time is not next week. The time is not someday. The time is not another time. The time really is now. So if any of this resonates with you, then let's make our entrepreneurship. Let's help you make your entrepreneurship dream a reality together. Until I come your way next time, remember, the first person, and certainly the most valuable person you can ever invest in, is yourself. So seize the day, seize the moment, carpe diem, seize the moment, seize the time. And remember, there's no other time. It's not got to be someday or one day. Let that someday be today. Let that one day be today. All you have is a here and now. God bless. And that's all for this week. You've been listening to Dr. Tina Allton with the Now Talks, the weekly podcast for women in leadership, brought to you by Nations of Women. All that remains is for me to say, have a fantastic week, stay safe, and reach out if you need any help now at nationsofwomen.com. Until next time, enjoy the pursuit of your potential, and remember, now is your time.